All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Taylor Kanost, and over the next 10 days here in the Midlands on Friday into Friday night, and new this afternoon from the National Weather Service, we do have a winter storm watch that has been issued for some of our Midlands counties, specifically Fairfield, Newberry, and Saluda counties under that winter storm watch. That will be again for Friday into Friday night. As you can see, much of the northern and upstate parts of South Carolina also under that winter storm watch. Those are the areas most likely to be impacted by a mix of a little snow, a little ice, all coming together and could cause a mess on the roadways just a couple of days from right now. We're not alone. There's a lot of the country dealing with this incoming winter storm. Take a look. Everyone in blue here from Kentucky through Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and parts of North Carolina also under that winter storm watch. And basically a winter storm watch is the precursor to either a winter storm warning or a winter weather advisory. These areas highlighted in pink are under winter storm warnings. That's where the worst of the weather from this storm is expected to occur. On the periphery of that is where we have winter weather advisories highlighted in purple. That includes everywhere from Illinois all the way down to much of Texas. It's a part of the country that doesn't get wintry weather too often, so this is a notable storm for a lot of reasons, and I'm sure it has your attention here locally in the Midlands. We really have not had much in the way of snow at all in about 3 years. Going back to January of 2022, that's the last time there was measurable snow. In tonight into tomorrow, that's when Texas, Arkansas, over to Louisiana and Mississippi get hit hard. Heading into Friday, that system skirts our way and brings us potentially a wide variety of precipitation, from rain to ice to snow. All of those are in play for us here in the Midlands Friday into Friday night. And forecasting different precip types is a challenge because it's very dependent on the temperature. For rain, from the cloud to the ground, the temperature is above freezing, so it stays as a liquid. For snow, the temperature from the cloud to the ground is below freezing, so it stays frozen as snow the entire time. Where the forecast gets tricky is where we have sleet and freezing rain. The temperature for much of the column of air from the cloud to the ground for freezing rain is actually above freezing, but the temperatures at the ground are below freezing, so it falls as rain and then freezes over after it makes contact with the ground. Sleet is a little different. There's only a brief window where the temperature is above freezing and then it freezes again as it gets closer to the ground. And sleet and freezing rain look a little bit different. They're kind of tough to distinguish if you don't know a whole lot about weather. So here's an easy way to remember it. Sleet looks like ice pellets or almost like sprinkles of ice. Freezing rain clings and creates an icy glaze. So one thing I often say is sleet pings, freezing rain clings to things. Freezing rain and that icy glaze is usually the worst case scenario for road conditions. It can create almost an ice skate rink on the road sometimes. So that's what we're most concerned about seeing, and that is legitimately possible for us in spots late Friday into Friday night. So let's go through the closer look at Future Watch. Hour by hour to walk through when we can expect this active weather to begin. I think we are dry everywhere on Friday morning. Heading into early Friday afternoon, we may begin to see that wintry mix move in. On this map here, blue is snow, purple is a mix of ice, whether it's freezing rain or sleet. This particular model doesn't distinguish between the two. So one thing we need to note for Friday afternoon is this precip coming in is going to have to overcome some very dry air that we're going to have in place. So the radar may show snow over us around 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon, but it may not actually be reaching the ground. It may be evaporating initially before it reaches the ground. But once we get to the late afternoon, I think we start to get past that dry air and we get a decent chance at the mixed bag of wintry weather. I still think the best chance at seeing that mix of ice and snow is going to be near and north of the I-20 corridor. That's this highway right there. This Future Watch model does show some freezing rain or sleet farther south. That is possible, but I think it's most likely we see that farther to the north. Areas farther north also have the best chance at seeing some periods of snow. And I think actually our best chance at seeing snowfall in the Midlands is going to be from the middle of Friday afternoon through early Friday evening. Will it amount to much? Probably not. But we might at least see some snowflakes flying around or mixed in with the rain or the ice. Areas in green here in the southern Midlands, I really think you're primarily just going to see rain down here. So sorry, no snowstorm expected for you in Orangeburg, Manning. Even the chances of that in Sumter are pretty low. Let's head toward Friday evening. We're going to start to see the temperatures cool off down near freezing at this point. The sun is setting at that time. I really think Friday evening is a time to watch for potentially dangerous travel conditions, again, especially north of the I-20 corridor. We're still dealing with that icy mix in this part of the state at that time. Farther to the south is when we're looking at the transition to more of just rain, albeit cold rain, with those temperatures at the ground just barely above freezing. It's probably going to be transitioning to all rain at that point. We continue with that pattern as we head into the late evening. Road conditions very likely to become worsened in the far northern part of the Midlands. So again, Fairfield County, Newberry County, potentially Saluda County. Those are the areas most likely to see treacherous travel conditions on Friday night. As we head into early Saturday morning, that's when we start to see the precip wind down from the west to the east. It's likely drying out by sunrise on Saturday, and we will likely have some sunshine by Saturday morning. That is very good news because the combination of sunshine plus temperatures climbing above freezing around 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday means any ice or snow that's on the roads should quickly melt away. There may be some travel trouble early on Saturday, but by the time we get to the mid and late morning hours, the roads will likely improve. I think we're good to go altogether for travel by Saturday afternoon and the rest of the weekend. Here is our first ice forecast. This could change. We're going to continue to fine-tune this forecast, but this is what we're going with right now. A trace for Columbia and Lexington, and that basically means just a smidgen of ice, not a lot, but just a little bit of freezing rain or sleet that could cause at least isolated slick spots in the Columbia metro. The better chance at a little bit steadier icing is going to be farther to the north here, near or less than 1/10 of an inch in Winsboro and Newberry, less than 0.05 of an inch in areas like Saluda, Camden, and Bishopville. Now we're talking 1/10 of an inch, and they may not seem like a big deal, but even with less than 1/4 inch of ice, you can have some impacts. There can be isolated power outages. There can be certainly some icy roads. You're going to get that coating of ice on your windshields that you'll need from your windshield. So at the very least, you may very well deal with that. One good thing about this is we're not going to have much wind. So we are going to be looking at potential for at least some minor impacts there. Just getting word here that Lexington schools, 2 schools have canceled all after-school activities for Friday. So there's some breaking news coming in right now. Again, Lexington 2 schools have canceled all after-school activities on Friday. So there's some news for you. I'm sure we'll get a few more of those cancellations, especially in the Northwest Midlands over the next couple of days. So we'll keep you updated on that. We're not going to see totals like this or this. Everyone's going to likely get less than 1/4 inch of ice, so we're not going to see numerous power outages. We're not going to have impassable roads. We're not going to have down trees and power lines. I don't think we're going to have much of that. So that's the good news. But still, roads very well could become icy. So that's the ice aspect. How about the snow aspect? This is our initial snowfall forecast. And again, it's not much, but it could be something. Less than 1 inch of snow in the forecast for Winsboro, Newberry, and Saluda. A trace, or in other words, a dusting of snow possible in Lexington, Columbia, and Camden. I think those of you farther south, sorry, but right now we're not expecting any snow for your particular locations. Now, there could be some subtle adjustments in this forecast. We could see some changes, so be sure to stay tuned to us over the next 48 hours before all of this gets going. I'll show you the worst case scenario and the best case scenario we're seeing on the models. This is our in-house IBM model. This is more snow than basically any other model is showing, but it is showing the potential for snow all the way down south to Sumter, the potential for nearly 1 inch or possibly up to 2 inches in the far northern parts of the Midlands. In the meantime, here's a different model that's kind of on the lower side for snowfall forecasts, not showing a whole lot of accumulation anywhere in the Midlands. So there is still some wiggle room in our forecast. A bust for Newberry would be no snow at all. Our forecast is less than 1 inch. I think the highest possible total for you guys in Newberry is going to be around 2 inches of snowfall. For Columbia, really does not look like we're going to see more than 1 inch of snow in the Columbia metro. So this is not going to be a huge snowstorm by any means, but could cause certainly some impacts for travel when you combine the snow aspect with the icing aspect. Slick roads certainly possible late Friday into Friday night. So here's the generic travel forecast, again mainly near and north of the I-20 corridor. Friday morning, we're good to go for travel. Could have some trouble from Friday afternoon through Friday night and early on Saturday. Once we get to Saturday afternoon, I expect the roads to be back in good shape and we should be good to go moving on forward there. But again, if you have any travel plans between Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, be advised there could at least be some minor issues on the roads. Those of you in the southern Midlands, you're mainly just looking at rain. Your roads are likely going to be okay. Of course, they'll be wet, but nothing like what we could see farther to the north. So winter storm watch has been issued. If you want to follow along with our forecasts, get the latest updates on the conditions, track the radar. You can do all of that on the Skywatch weather app. You can download that at the App Store on Apple or on Google Play on your Android devices. And again, the latest forecasts, our latest videos, all of that information can be found right there. You can also watch us today at 5 o'clock on Watch Fox News at 5. I'll give you a complete breakdown of the weather forecasts, what various towns and counties are doing to prepare for this potential winter weather. We've got you covered for all the wintry weather forecasts for you as we get closer to it just a couple of days from now, this upcoming Friday. All right, thank you all for watching this afternoon. Again, join us at 5 o'clock for the latest on the forecast and the news across the Midlands.